Welcome to the Aberdeen Progress Report, a monthly look at news, issues, and ideas concerning the Aberdeen area. Kaleidoscope Media, the Aberdeen Area Chamber of Commerce, and KSFY Television are joint producers of this broadcast. Your hosts are Steve Kaiser and Kim Lien.
The taxpayers of Aberdeen now own the Federal Courthouse Post Office building downtown. Now what? Details on our in-depth segment. The former NBP plant has been transferred to White Oak Financial. What happens next? We'll have some answers on the review of the news. The new United Way Aberdeen office chief is our People You Should Know subject tonight.
Lynn and Shirley Arment will join us to talk about the possible construction of a new library in Aberdeen on our interview of the month. And the Chamber's Jessica Rehder will join us to talk about upcoming Chamber golf event and other topics. First, a look at last month's major news stories. Aberdeen's beef processing plant, now called New Angus Beef by its current owners, has yet to reopen. Local industry officials report that White Oak Financial is planning to open the plant and get it operating. They expect that a firm, which is a current cattle processor, will be hired to restart the operation. The $100 million plant sat idle for almost a year. Local news reports this month have quoted some in the industry that say that they're skeptical it will ever be opened again. This is because the price of beef is so high and America's desire for red meat seems to be at its lowest since the 1950s. But our sources say the plant can easily fit into the nation's beef production system. That's because it is close to what many believe is the highest quality beef raised in the world. They also point out that the news sources quoted locally predicting it will never open have close ties to production companies that do not want to see the Aberdeen facility opened. Our sources indicate they expect that White Oak will soon hire an experienced company to reopen the plant. Meanwhile, a trial date has been set in Pierre for the suit of Scott Olson Digging against the plant. He was the contractor who is no longer in business that originally graded land at the plant. He sent a bill that was regarded as out of line by the plant owners at the time of its construction. Arguments are slated to begin on May 27th in the federal court in Pierre on Olson's suit against the new plant owners.
Aberdeen's Presentation College may lose its accreditation as an education institution for nursing. The Atlanta-based Accreditation Commission for Education in Nursing has denied compliance with some of their rules. Officials at PC admit that not all of their faculty have master's degrees, one of the rules of the commission. Nursing students make up about 40% of the school's student population. Presentation says it has appealed the decision by the commission and insisted students are getting a great education. College officials say PC students have continued to score high on the National Council Licensure Examination for registered nurses. They also predict that within a year, all faculty will have master's degrees. Northern State University has been okayed to offer an agribusiness minor in its business school. It is partnering with South Dakota State University to offer the ag-related course. Officials say it will be available with all 9 business school majors. Students can register right now to begin taking the minor. NSU also partners with SDSU in offering its nursing program.
The Melgard apartments are moving ahead after a special zoning ordinance was approved by the City Council last month. Last year, the council was asked to put the brakes on the projects by local landowners. They wanted the city to either buy the land, which is adjacent to the city-owned Melgard Park, or at least prevent developers from building on the land. Both the previous and current owners have offered to sell the land to either the city or the homeowners, but neither has come forward with any deal. The proposed development will be 2 single-story apartment buildings with a total of 16 units. Caribou Coffee is making its debut in the Hub City. The new shop will occupy the west part of the building on the corner of 6th Avenue and State Street, which previously housed Blockbuster Video. The chain provides gourmet coffees, handcrafted drinks, and toasted sandwiches. It is headquartered in the Twin Cities and is the second largest coffeehouse chain in the United States after Starbucks. The other half of the building will house a Verizon B-Mobile cellular store.
A new master plan for Storybook Land has been unveiled by the Sertoma Club and the Aberdeen Parks and Recreation Department. As many as 8 new rides are being planned along with upgrades to the castle and extended parking areas. The fundraising for the first ride, a family roller coaster, has begun. The club, which has been involved with Storybook Land since its inception, plans to raise $400,000 for the 8 new rides. Sponsorships of cars, seats, sections of track, and bricks are available to help build the coaster. If all goes well, it could be up and running by summer of 2015.
Eddie's North Side, a longtime community fixture on 2nd Street Northwest, was heavily damaged by fire a year ago this month. The fire was caused when a welding torch went awry. It burned for some 5 hours before being hosed out. Owner Randy Weber, who took over from Dad Eddie, said it will feature one full-service pump lane for individual service and another for self-service. Randy says they're the last station in town to provide full service. The former building had 2 service bays. This new one has 4. The Sinclair branded station is now 4,200 square feet, and Randy says they've also added a Dino Mart that offers convenience store products. No exact opening date is known, but it can't be too soon for Randy and staff. He expects it to be in the next few weeks.
One of Aberdeen's most historic buildings has been purchased by city taxpayers. Now what? Steve has some answers from city officials on tonight's in-depth report.
Want to buy an older, well-used building that needs a major overhaul? The city of Aberdeen is hoping you do, because they have this building for sale. The city purchased the building 2 months ago for $525,000. But if you're buying, there are stipulations. City officials want it to be rented to the federal court system, and that means you must meet federal standards for municipal building features, such as: is the insulation put in correctly? How tight are the windows? The accessibility to the handicap, etc., etc. The City Council hadn't studied the issue very much before it declared the property necessary for the community and bought it 3 months ago using eminent domain. Some in Aberdeen aren't sure it was wise to purchase the building before doing a little more study first. Bill Lamont, local architect and from a family with a long history of renting facilities in Aberdeen, says he wishes city officials had looked it over more carefully first.
Well, I guess I would have preferred it had they gone ahead with doing the analysis first, because if the building is going to need a substantial upgrade, then it could have affected the value that was used for eminent domain also. And I'm not familiar with what procedures they went through, but I think that they felt time was of the essence as far as getting that done, and that could have been the sort of thing that would happen.
Were you surprised that the council went ahead and just voted to purchase the building?
Normally, this sort of building, you would hope that the client would do an inspection before you get there. However, as another aside, I have worked on 2 or 3 projects where the clients have said, oh, by the way, we've gone ahead and bought the site already.
The main reason city fathers want to save this building is to keep the federal court operating in Aberdeen. Last year, the federal government sold the building when its General Services Administration apparently decided it was too expensive to fix it up and keep it open. Congress has given the GSA a great deal of independence in making these decisions without interference by local authorities or other federal officials. The GSA staffers in Aberdeen have not yet commented publicly about why they felt the building didn't meet their standards for retaining it as a federal courthouse. U.S. District Court Judge Charles Kornman told city officials they needed to come to its rescue if they want to keep the court and its ancillary legal activities operating in Aberdeen.
The total intent of doing this was to preserve the federal court function here in Aberdeen.
Okay. Why is it necessary to do that?
Because the building was held by an owner who was maintaining it in a way that the federal court could no longer occupy it, and we were the only alternative.
Although no one has given an official estimate of what such court activity means to the city of Aberdeen's economy, some say it's between $2 to $5 million a year. Keeping the federal court here is difficult because we have federal courthouses available in Sioux Falls, Pierre, and Rapid City. One of those who has made it a major effort on his part to keep the federal court operating here is City Attorney Adam Altman. We asked what the report on the condition of the building shows.
Right, we took a look at the accessibility of the building from the standpoint of the regulations that govern federally occupied buildings, and we've determined that we need to make some renovations. We knew we were going to have to, and now we understand what the scope of those renovations are. We'll need to install some accessible restrooms on the 3rd and 4th floor, modify the accessible restroom on the 1st floor, and probably modify an additional bathroom on the 4th floor. These are all modifications that will allow people throughout the community to access the court when they need to. In addition to that, as we've always known, we'll have to install a fire sprinkler system, and we've intended to do that from the very beginning.
The fix-up job has landed on City Engineer Robin Bobzine's desk, who told the progress report he's working on getting a list of what has to be done completed. We asked if he had a rough idea of cost.
You know, right now we're still in the fact-finding stage, and we're getting a little better idea what things we're going to need to do, but we have not sat down and gotten real hard estimates on what types of numbers we're going to be dealing with in order to get this up to the standards that are required.
Do you have any rough estimates? I mean, are we talking 25, 30, 40,000, or are we talking about 200, 300,000?
We're talking in the hundreds of thousands, I would speculate right now.
The city wants to keep the court activity alive in Aberdeen to keep the dollars now being spent in the community rolling in. Taxpayers are no doubt hoping the use of tax dollars for the investment will be worth it to everyone in the community and not just the legal system members. Coming up on the Progress Report, meet the new Aberdeen director of the community's United Way effort. Stay tuned.
We all know what a great place Aberdeen is to live, but we need your help in spreading the word. Let relatives and friends know of the career opportunities that are available now. Job prospects are expanding greatly in our community. Major employers are now hiring with hundreds of openings. You can remind them that we also have a great city park system, superb arts and entertainment, and our educational opportunities are outstanding. The Aberdeen Development Corporation invites you to come write your story in Aberdeen. When we enter Kessler's, we come with certain expectations. We expect to be at the best store in Aberdeen, and we expect it because that's what they've always been. The store you enter today at Kessler's is born of tradition, whether we're talking about the freshest produce with a huge selection to pick from, or meats that are second to none anywhere in the nation, and prices that are always reasonable for the best quality you'll find in Aberdeen. Kessler's, there for you for over 70 years.
Northeast South Dakota's United Way Drive has had terrific leadership and great success in the past. Now a new man has taken the reins of the local fundraising efforts. Kim introduces you to him on tonight's People You Should Know.
Meet Aaron Schultz, the new executive director of the Northeast South Dakota United Way. He took over the post in February from longtime director Tom Agnish. Schultz is an Aberdeen native who previously worked at the Sioux Empire United Way. He also worked for a time in the Washington, D.C. area for nonprofit. He moved back to Aberdeen about 8 years ago and worked for Presentation College. He also has been on the board and the foundation for United Way here in Aberdeen. Most of his job entails coordinating services for the 19 different agencies and working with over 200 volunteers in the community. He told us his favorite part of the job.
I always say I have the coolest job ever because I get to go in and I feel like I really get to help address community needs. United Way is at a point where the ship is sailing very, very smoothly, and people come to the United Way to say, do you think this is something that would help our community? Or if there's a community need, we get a call about it. And so, and we get to work with so many different volunteers. We get to work with so many different agencies and programs that on any given day, we could end up going out to an agency and working with them, or volunteering that day, or simply bouncing ideas back and forth. You know, each of the agencies work incredibly hard to foster the trust of the community. A lot of times they come to us and just bounce ideas off of off of us. And so on any given day, I really don't know what the phone call will be. And so that's what is exciting.
When he's not helping the community, Schultz enjoys spending time outdoors. He likes running on the bike trails around Aberdeen, playing golf, spending time at his lake cabin, and spending time with his 5-year-old son. Aaron Schultz, one of the people you should know.
Next on the Progress Report, we'll talk about Aberdeen's new library possibilities. Stay tuned.
When you're looking for a great selection, Har's has the cars.
For fantastic savings on exactly what you want, Har Motors excited to announce the Bargain Center right on our lot. With over 30 vehicles and most of them under $10,000, there's something for everyone. Har Motors offers 0 down and financing. You can't beat the Bargain Center at Har Motors.
Har Motors, Har's has the cars.
The Aberdeen Progress Report is sponsored by Celebration Entertainment, the industry leader since 1998.
If you haven't heard, Aberdeen recently held a ribbon cutting for the finest hotel in the Hub City. Town Place Suites by Marriott is located adjacent to the Lakewood Mall. These gorgeous suites are extended stay facilities, but offer lodging from a night or two to special rates for weekly or monthly stays. Each and every unit comes with kitchen facilities, in addition to offering everything to please business travelers, families, or anyone who wants luxury accommodations at reasonable rates. Town Place Suites by Marriott, a block north of 6th Avenue, adjacent to the Lakewood Mall.
Your home is warm, comfortable, and welcoming. When your friends linger more leisurely, your family gathers more joyously, and your spare time is spent in pure relaxation. Since 1945, Malchow's quality and style, combined with our decades of experience, have helped you fill your house with dynamic new furnishings. We make it easy with design ideas. Our creative staff will come to your home with a free, no-hassle consultation that's sure to meet your needs. Malchow's, the look you love to come home to.
For over 20 years, many book aficionados have been pleading with the city to get with it and construct a modern new library. Joining us to talk about where this proposal sits today is librarian Shirley Arment and city manager Lynn Lander. Well, thanks for joining us on the Aberdeen Progress Report. Shirley, we understand that the new location is across from the federal building downtown. Why this location?
Well, we looked at several locations, and actually the final decision was made by a combination of people in the community, library board members, city council members, and city officials, and the Library Foundation all had members on a committee who chose the location, and we looked at many aspects of several locations in the city. It just met all of the specifications that we had come up for a place for a good new library. Plus the location is centrally located and not too far from the library right now. So,
Lynn, do you want to add anything on the site choice?
Well, yes, we purchased the site approximately 3 years ago, and it is a full 1-block area, and it is adjacent to the business district. And not only is it adjacent to the business district, but it's adjacent to the Parks and Recreation facility, which I'm certain that services can be shared among the two buildings.
Shirley, can you tell us what's the latest recommendations by national experts on how to design a new library? And what's needed in the electronically connected world that we all live in?
Well, actually, that's why we have hired a library planner, is to look at the future of libraries and what a library in Aberdeen needs. And so he's doing a needs assessment as we speak, and we haven't seen an official inside plan of the library. My idea of a library in the future is something with movable walls, where you could have a big space you can transform, and also where it is wired for all types of technology, and the wiring can be moved. I know Stephen mentioned where you can have a movable floor so that the technology is all under the floor. So that's kind of I think what the library of the future is going to look like.
Lynn, what have the experts said about continuing to offer printed materials out of the libraries?
I think you always see printed materials. However, I just got done reading a recent study from the International Cities Management Association, and then on a national basis, from a recent study, they indicate that 40% of the library patrons now use computers for career and education needs.
Could you both give us your best estimate of when you think that the library could be completed?
I don't have an estimate of that because the City Council has not voted on the actual building of a library. Maybe Lynn has better numbers than I do.
Well, let's ask.
Well, as Shirley had indicated, we hired a program professional to do analysis of our needs, and that professional will be completing his report within the next 3 weeks, which that will be presented to the council. At that point, then the council has to determine what the next step would be. If in fact they entered into an architectural design contract, that would take approximately a year, and so the soonest construction probably would be year 2016.
What's the cost?
Depends upon what the final design ends up being. From his preliminary program analysis, we're looking at 28,000 square feet, and we've had projected costs anywhere from $200 to $250 a square foot.
So our total cost, I keep hearing the figure $6 million being talked about.
It could vary between $6 and $7 million just for the building itself, and not for other needs within the library, such as shelving and desk and everything else like that.
Shirley and Lynn, thank you for joining us on the Aberdeen Progress Report.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, likewise.
Ahead on the Progress Report, we talk with the Chamber's Jessica Rehder about a fun and important Chamber event.
One place for all your insurance needs? Of course. See State Farm Agent Linda Shop. Call or stop by today.
See what we can do.
Because Healthcare Plus is a member-owned credit union, dividends are paid monthly back to the members, which is an added benefit, both in savings and in checking.
One thing you'll find about the credit union here is that the people, they want to serve you and they want to do a good job.
In fact, we've recommended Healthcare Plus to a number of people we know that have joined and now have accounts with them.
See what we can do at Healthcare Plus Federal Credit Union in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
When you're looking for a great selection, Harz has the cars.
For fantastic savings on exactly what you want, Har Motors excited to announce the Bargain Center right on our lot. With over 30 vehicles and most of them under $10,000, there's something for everyone. Har Motors offers 0 down and financing. You can't beat the Bargain Center at Har Motors.
Har Motors, Harz has the cars.
It's tough finding a career. So many spend time jumping from one unfulfilling job to the next. But you have a chance to change that because Wyndham Hotel Group, the world's largest hotel company, is hiring right here in Aberdeen. Our inbound call center and worldwide reservation headquarters offers a professional, fun work environment with amazing benefits, including medical, dental, and vision, and more. Take charge of your career by calling 605-229-8080 or visiting wyndhamjobs.com.
On our Chamber section tonight, we're talking about this year's Chamber Golf Tournament. With us is Jessica Rehder, the Chamber's Director of Member Services and Events. Welcome to the Progress Report, Jessica.
Thank you.
Where and when is this year's tournament?
This year's tournament is Monday, June 2nd at Moccasin Creek Country Club.
Jessica, can you tell us who's able to participate and what makes this a must-do event?
Absolutely. Anyone is able to participate. You don't have to be a chamber member. The more the merrier. If you can hit a golf ball or you like to have fun trying, you're more than welcome. So it's a must-do event. This Chamber Golf Tournament fills up fast, and we always have a lot of fun. I think people like being outside, golfing with other members of the community. So.
In the past, you've done a theme. Is there a theme for this year?
Absolutely. I think we have a really fun theme this year. We're going to go with a board game theme. And so some examples that are flying around are Candyland, Monopoly, Battleships. I think that it's going to be really exciting what the members decide to come up with. So,
Jessica, if someone wants to participate, how do they get signed up?
Well, it's really easy. You can always call our office at 225-2860. Or we have a new online registration system set up on our chamber website at aberdeen-chamber.com. You can go and register and actually pay for everything there. So very simple.
What other chamber events are ahead?
We have several chamber events coming up. Some people have probably heard about LeaderCast, that it will be May 9th, and that's at the NSU Barnett Center. This is a program that will air live in Atlanta, and then we're going to stream it here at NSU. And it's really just a way for us to look at leadership in a different and positive light. There'll be 9 different speakers from all over the country. We also have on May 14th, the Workforce and Education Committee will host the Unemployment Tax and Insurance Seminar. And that'll be from 8 to 10 at the Best Western Ramkota here in town. We have two different speakers. We have Don Williams and then Scott Geffrey from the South Dakota Department of Labor. So lots of fun things coming up.
Jessica Rehder, thanks for joining us on the Aberdeen Progress Report.
Thank you.
Business After Hours, a monthly mixer for business professionals and the community, will be held on Thursday, May 8th at Moccasin Creek Country Club. It will begin at 5:15 p.m. Food and drinks will be available. Please RSVP at the Chamber. You do not need to be a Chamber member to attend.
Next on the Progress Report, how to pass a rainy day in Aberdeen.
Why does Pearson Ford continue to offer this area's best prices? There's one big reason. Fleet pricing on new pickups means you can save big dollars. Ford will allow you to get volume pricing of an extra 2 to 10% off when you purchase brand new F-150 and 250 trucks. And Ford Technology continues to provide vehicles that are 20% more fuel efficient than they were back in 2005. Plus, get great assistance for your driving, listening, and navigating using the My Ford Touch system. See us today at Pearson Ford, located in the Auto Plaza in Aberdeen.
It's tough finding a career. So many spend time jumping from one unfulfilling job to the next. But you have a chance to change that because Wyndham Hotel Group, the world's largest hotel company, is hiring right here in Aberdeen. Our inbound call center and worldwide reservation headquarters offers a professional, fun work environment with amazing benefits, including medical, dental, and vision, and more. Take charge of your career by calling 605-229-8080 or visiting wyndhamjobs.com.
The Aberdeen Progress Report is sponsored by Celebration Entertainment, the industry leader since 1998.
With all the rainy days we've been having, there's still plenty of indoor activities available in Aberdeen. The Dakota Prairie Museum downtown has a special exhibit for kids right now called The Amazing Castle, which runs through May 18th. There's also plenty to see and to do at the museum year-round, including a pioneer play area, a collection of antique toys, and the Hattershide Wildlife exhibit. If you or your family or friends don't catch the initial broadcast run of the Progress Report on KSFY TV, there are now several different ways to view it after its first airing. Kaleidoscope Media has just created a AberdeenProgressReport.com website of its own. Now you'll find it easier to use since you can watch the latest episode with just one click.
And as always, you can go to the Midco Cable TV service on its video on demand capability. Just go to Video on Demand, choose Free Local Content, and pick the Progress Report. It should start within about 10 seconds.
You can also see a recording of it on the web at any of these 4 websites, aberdeen-chamber.com, ksfy.com, or kaleidoscopemedia.net, or go to aberdeenprogressreport.com. We've also made past shows of the 2014 available on the new site as well.
Keep in mind also, every other month the Chamber publishes our companion, the Aberdeen Progress Magazine. All Chamber members should receive a free copy of the magazine that is filled with news and details about the Chamber and the community. The Aberdeen American News also delivers it to subscribers. If you didn't get one, just stop on down to the Chamber office to pick up a copy.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Steve and I will see you next month on Saturday, June 7th, following KSFY's late evening news. Good night, everyone.
This has been the Aberdeen Progress Report. News, issues, and ideas concerning the Aberdeen area. The Aberdeen Progress Report is produced by Kaleidoscope Media, the Aberdeen Area Chamber of Commerce, and KSFY Television.